Now, Darren, this is an interesting topic to me. This was a huge deal in my first year of marriage. We hadn't lived together before marriage. You put two people with very different, I don't know,
expectations.
How am I going to phrase this? Expectations and background on whose role is what in the house. Put them together. Tell them you got to manage a household together. And I imagine we're not the only ones who that was a struggle.
Look, a lot of couples struggle with this. This is like you said, Aaron, this is a major challenge for couples because we come from different households, we come from different families of origin, and then we often bring, like you said, different expectations into the marriage of what or how I'm going to contribute. And so we, traditionally, 1950s, the woman did most of the housework, cooked and cleaned and, looked after the children. The man was outside the home and he would come home and put his feet up. Where's my pipe and slippers kind of idea. And that was an old kind of model of marriage. And then these days, women work now and we're juggling children and multiple jobs. And, how do we have a functioning household and serve each other and love one another at the same time?
Was this an issue for you early on in your marriage?
Oh, yes. What a major series of hurdles that we had to go over together because I just came from, I think I was a bit 1950s. I was a bit like, she's going to do it all. I was a sloth. I was like, there's this great quote by Mark Gungor when he's asked by a woman, can men even see laundry? and he's just like, no, we can't. We don't even notice it's there. And so there's a level of, training that we have to do to each other in order to have a household that really hums, that really functions really well.
It's a hard one because you want to be fair to people who just don't see it. Do you know what I mean?
That's true.
And we're training each other, right?
Yeah.
However, there can be a point where training becomes nagging. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
And this whole dynamic.
Totally.
Is there a way to do it in a healthy way? Do you know what I mean? That doesn't create unnecessary resentment.
I think you have to land on the same page about whose job things are, who's taking responsibility. That's the key word. Who's taking responsibility for what thing? So I don't know, maybe 4 years ago, I'd had a pretty rough day at work. I come home and I go to fill up my bottle from the water filter. We've got one of those slow kind of water filters and it's basically empty and I just blew my top. I'm walking around the house going, I'm the only person who fills up this water filter. I can't believe it. You people don't do anything. I was losing it. And later on, Beck sat me down and said, well, maybe we just need to go through the chores list again and see who does what.
She's good.
Oh, she's amazing. And I was like, I do heaps around here. Yeah, let's go through the list. So we wrote a list of every single thing that has to happen for the household to function. And we put names next to every single one of those things. And I looked at this is like after years of learning how to do housework, learning to contribute. And I realized I don't do as much as I thought I did. And so we rewrote it and we put Darren's name next to filling up the water filter. And so now when I go to the water filter and there's nothing, I go, that's my responsibility. That's my fault.
I think you've tapped into something really great there because whilst I do think a big part of it can be expectations around roles in marriage, we're also just dealing with the fact we're all selfish people. Because I lived with two other guys for a while and we had conflicts over housework and that wasn't a husband or wife thing at all. Right. It was around expectations and it was resentment because there was this situation that would occur where we would end up with a sink just piled with dishes and what we traced it back to was that one person would leave one dish in a sink. That's all it took. One person who didn't wash their own dish.
Right.
Not a big deal in and of itself, but the next person came along and went, well, I'm not washing your dish for you. So they just then put their dish in there and it became this thing where we all thought everyone else was lazy and messy. And in reality, what it was all of us were carrying resentment that we might have to do something for someone else that we shouldn't be expected to. And so it was this undoing. And I wonder if that's exactly what we're tapping into there. This idea that even aside from different gender roles and things like that, as a starting point of going, how do we actually, what's our attitude towards serving one another?
That's exactly right. Like, love is service. Love is giving to the other person, you know, what they might not deserve. Your mates might not have deserved to have you clean up all of their mess, but that's what love does. Love reaches in and just helps and serves the other person. And I think that for me, over many years, I've had to realise I don't want to wash the dishes up after dinner. I don't want to. I don't like it. It's annoying. I want to go and relax in the lounge and watch my favourite show or jump on my Xbox for a while. You're like, this is what I want to do. And it's a continual act of deciding to serve, of deciding actually, well, also this is my job, this is my responsibility, but then doing it. I have to do the job. I have to get up and start to clean up and serve my wife and serve my family. And I think if we have a service kind of teamwork mentality about things, and that's actually what love looks like. Love doesn't just look like, oh, I love you, kissy kissy. Love looks like, I'm getting up and I'm even going to do your chore for you because you've had a rough day. That's what love looks like.
Hearts melting across that. That's what I want to hear.
I can't remember the last time I was content, and now I wonder, how do I get there again? Why am I clutching and grabbing at all the things that I don't have when you've given me everything? Why am I stuck in my feelings thinking I know what I deserve when the answer is clear to me? 'Cause what you give me, Lord, is more than I desire. You're my provider. And when I lose my way, you lead me through the fire. You're my provider. Even on my darkest day, you show me where the light is. You're my provider. And when my strength is gone, I know where to find it. You're my provider, my provider. I'm not forgotten. I am a child beloved. What you have given has always been enough. Why am I clutching and grabbing at all the things that I don't have when you've given me everything? Why am I stuck in my feelings thinking I know what I deserve when the answer is clear to me? 'Cause what you give me, Lord, is more than I desire. You're my provider. And when I lose my way, you lead me through the fire. You're my provider. Even on my darkest day, you show me where the light is. You're my provider. And when my strength is gone, I know where to find it. You're my provider, my provider. You have always been, you will always be. Your faithful hand is holding on to me. You are mine. Oh God, you are mine. 'Cause what you give me, Lord, is more than I desire. You're my provider. And when I lose my way, lead me through the fire. You're my provider. You are my provider. Even on my darkest day, you show me where the light is. You're my provider. And when my strength is gone, I know where to find it. You're my provider, my provider. You are my provider. You are provider, my provider. You are my provider, provider, my provider.
Kate Thompson and Provider. You're on the Fresh Start with Aaron and Chloe this morning.
Talking housework with Darren Chapman.
Ooh, what a topic.
He's
Everyone's
not-
so happy they tuned in today.
He's not here to give us hacks on how to get that bathroom shower screen crystal clear, but he
Although he
is.
does sound passionate about it off there.
High standards.
He's here to give us tips on, because this is a relationship, I don't want to say killer, but
It's a
constant
minefield.
source of
it's a
friction.
minefield.
Yeah.
It is. It's tricky. And I do, as I said, reflect on, as particularly the first years of our marriage, trying to get into some rhythm and pattern of how we approach this. We mentioned earlier that we're going to do some practical tips on how to have a peaceful relationship with cleaning with your spouse.
I love that. Totally. So I think like what Beck did has become a bit of the framework for how we help couples to do this as well. So start with a massive, comprehensive list of everything that's required for the household to run. Now, Beck has even separated things, right? So cooking dinner is not just cooking dinner. Cooking dinner is also making a meal plan and buying groceries. And Beck hates putting the groceries away. So that's its own little thing. So whatever's like, you can separate the chores and everything that makes your household run. But then you're also thinking of maybe things that are more mental load things as well.
Yeah.
So who buys the gifts for the kids' friends' birthdays? Who, things that are just in someone's mind. Who's making sure that the finances are looked after? Who's organising repairs for the house? All kinds of stuff. Whatever you can think of goes on this list. And then you write down who's currently responsible for that chore in the household. And then you can kind of get a bit of and you can put a massive question mark next to everything the dusting the skirting boards. Oh, right. We don't even do that. I don't even, our kids don't even see that there are skirting boards or that there's dust on them. But writing a list it down and then who's currently responsible, and then we're going to workshop this list together and we're going to find out who's best for each role.
Now, there would be an instinct that says, I guess you just got to split the whole thing 50-50 to make it fair. Is that actually the reality, though?
I think you have to take into account context. So our current context changed significantly in COVID. So I was stuck at home, in quote, homeschooling the children, which took about 10 minutes a day apparently. And then my wife was a essential worker, so I had to learn to cook. Now, I hadn't cooked more than twice maybe in our entire married life, because Beck is just so remarkable. I'm very good at washing up, but cooking was terrible. So I had to learn how to cook, and then I had the bulk of the housework also on so it was 80-20 the other way. And I'm like, and I tried not to get resentful because everything flipped. But now my wife has started a new job and she has more space and time, and our whole household has now shifted again. So she's cooking 5 nights a week instead of me cooking 5 nights a week. So, those things have to change because of context. Who has got more on their plate? Who has got less energy? Who has got more energy? And so we need to fairness with context in mind is a good starting point. But I think if you're really pushing for 50-50 all the way along, it just gets really transactional and it doesn't create a nice, loving environment where you're serving each other. So you've got to take then service and love into account. Fairness is a really good starting point, but like Beck and I always say, it's a terrible goal. We don't just want things to be fair. Like, you went out with the girls on Saturday night, so I'm going out with the girls tonight, with the boys tonight, with the girls, right? You got to spend $10 on this new thing. I'm going to go and spend $15 on, it just becomes super, tat for tat. It's like, here we go. And so that's just not a great foundation for a healthy, loving relationship.
So fairness is a good starting point. What is a good goal?
So love and generosity.
Yeah.
That's a good goal.
Both of you. Yeah.
But 100%.
Yeah.
You don't want to, a lot of people live in a one-sided marriage. This is a problem. This is a concern. A lot of the couples or a lot of the people that I speak to are existing inside of a one-sided marriage. And so maybe that's a topic for another day for sure. But how two people serving and loving each other. So Tim Keller, in his book, The Meaning of Marriage, highly recommend that you go and buy The Meaning of Marriage from Kurong, Amazon, wherever. And he says mutual sacrifice equals mutual fulfillment. And what he's talking about is the husband and the wife are both laying down their lives for each other and is fulfilled by the other's service. So it comes straight out of Ephesians 5:25. Like, husbands, agape your wives, love your wives as Christ loved the church and gave himself up for her, right? Ephesians 5 verse 2 also says, love each other and give yourself for each other, right? And that's what I have to remind myself of after dinner. When I don't want to do the washing up, I'm like, give yourself, give of yourself. I have to give my life away for my wife and for my kids.
And that looks like washing up.
Yeah.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
Love looks like doing the chore that's on your task list, or even isn't. Because if Bex had a massive rough day and she'll go off, doing something with one of our kids after dinner, and I've just cooked dinner, I'm like, I'm going to wash up as well. And you know what? That fills her love tank. She's acts of service. That's one of the few ways that I can serve her and love her, and makes a massive difference to the barometer or the level of love that's in the household and how people feel like cherished and appreciated and valued.
And little tip for husbands, and it might not work in every situation, but the amount of times I've been doing a chore and my wife has said to me, "You've never looked sexier right now." Just a little tip, I'm just saying.
Totally.
Don't do it for those reasons, but
I do have a magnet on my fridge that I bought in Hawaii that says it's a man washing up, and he's looking to the camera in the magnet, and he says, "I know how to turn a woman on."
Not wrong. Not wrong.
Now, there is also a bit of a reality around preferences as well.
Totally.
And maybe standards as well. Would you be able to speak to those?
Yeah, for sure. So you do have context in mind. You've got the level of energy that people have in their day, but then who really likes things to be in a certain way around the house? So if one of you, like, bathrooms are an easy one, but if you like the bathroom to be at a certain standard, and when your spouse cleans the bathroom, you're like, that is just not good enough. Well, it probably should be on your list because you've got the higher standards there. Now, the challenge there is if you have higher standards for everything, then you just, like my daughter was like it last night, literally. She said, "Oh, maybe I could learn to do the bathrooms." And we're like, "Yeah, we'll have to train you in that." And she's like, "What? I don't need training in this." I'm like, "Yeah, you do, because we have standards over here." And so my son can clean our bathrooms like a genius, like a whiz. And I'm like, yes, I used to pay him, when we had lots of money, I used to pay the children to do the jobs you don't want to do. That's fantastic. And he did them really, really well. So standards are a thing.
Lots to think about, but I think it does. It all comes back to serving each other and love being not so much I'd die for you, I'd sacrifice everything for you, but
I won't put a dish away from the dishwashing machine.
Exactly right.
We've been chatting with Darren Chapman from The Happy Marriage, and of course, go and check out that great blog. It'll give you some practical advice there. But I don't know about you, Chloe. I'm feeling encouraged this morning.
I'm ready to get my list out.